Hello, everybody, and welcome to podcast number 55 of The Real Estate Show. I'm Cherise Shelley, and with me is Shauna Uehling.
Hello.
Hello, Shauna. We're part of Selley Group Real Estate here in Colorado Springs. We are a brokerage that is tiny, but we're mighty, and we have a lot of real estate years of knowledge and experience behind our belt, and we want to just answer some of the questions that people have and deal with the changing dynamics of the market head on. And we can face what we can see, but what we can't see is something that I know is driving everybody crazy. Like, where is this market going to end? When is the bottom going to truly fall out?
Yeah, tell me the day.
I wish we had that day. I mean, I would put it in my iPhone and then leave. No, I'm just kidding. But it's the truth is, I think everybody needs to make the best decision for what they know in the present. We can't figure out the future, but you can stabilize your moment right now in this day. And let's bring it back to that. And before we continue with this podcast, we have the end of June's stats, or June stats, excuse me. And at the next podcast airing, we'll go over July's stats. But just wanted to keep it real with existing single family homes for June. The price for June of 22 was $543, down 1% from May of 22, which was $548. But again, I brought it up in the last podcast. We're still up from January of 22, which was at $489 at that time.
Yeah.
So even though prices are going down, and we have some of the biggest price adjustments that I've seen in years happening, we are still, ahead for the most part of where we were at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So inventory is increasing. And I think a very good discussion that has been brought up as we're sitting here like a round table right now preparing for this podcast is sellers want to know, how far do they go now? Like, how much do they actually have to do? How much do they invest to get their home ready for the market when they may not make double back on all the improvements that they put into their home right now? And Shauna, is it okay if I solicit your landscaping services to the world right now?
My day labor skills.
Oh, you're amazing. You are, I came over to your house recently and you were covered in mud. Actually, you got out of the shower, you answered the door, and you said that you were covered in mud. And I could see evidence. I saw the shoes. I saw, it was a sloppy mess of a labor of love. Yes. And you saved buku loads on the cost of hiring a professional landscaper. But don't try this at home, children, because this is not easy.
Yes, it's very labor intensive.
It's back-breaking work, isn't it?
It is.
But please explain to everybody what this company said to you, a professional company that was watching you.
Yeah, they were just starting a job 2 doors down, and they came up and they were like, I gotta tell you, this is looking so good, and I've seen you out here. It seems like you've done 80% of this yourself at least, but the design is so good. And he just was blown away and very complimentary of how nice our landscape looked. And I'm like, thank you, tell me more.
You're like,
but
okay.
I designed that thing on, just pencil and paper, and you never know how it's going to turn out. But I don't know. I like putting textures together in layers, and it is looking good. But,
it's gorgeous.
But everyone else gets their landscaping done in 2 weeks, and I have to say I was a little jealous when their trucks came rolling up and 20 guys rolled out of it, and I'm like...
You are a one-woman show here. Yeah.
Well, and my nice little high schooler friends that I have that they need jobs, so they help me. I pay them.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm a little employer.
Okay. It's a good little side hustle.
But yeah, it is, if you're the type of person to want to tackle something like that or any project, there really is equity to be had because labor is so expensive right now. And it's hard to even get people. especially landscapers, they're booked out like in the winter for the whole year practically. So if you're trying to do something on the fly, sometimes it's hard to get people out there. So.
And it is possible to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you do it right if you do it yourself?
I don't know. Ask me when it's done, if it's right. We've had to work on our drainage a couple times because we've had some pretty heavy rain that surprised me which way it was going to go.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's trial and error, and I think you just have to, take time and ask professionals to different people's opinions and just kind of take your time and try to think through most of the troubleshooting ahead of time.
And you planted a lot of things that do not require high watering.
Yeah.
And a lot of the perennial things, so things are not dying.
Yeah, I'm not replanting after this year.
So you're thinking of water conservation.
Yeah.
And you've learned for this region, and it's even moving 20 minutes north.
Yeah, we're in a different water district that's even more expensive.
Isn't that interesting?
You have to be more careful.
And things that thrive there may not thrive where you were before.
Yeah.
So learning the nuances of that area and what to plant.
And making sure your plants have a year warranty, which is important.
Yes.
Wherever you get them from. Usually the big box stores will have that for a year, save your receipt. And when we did our other yard years ago, I took back so much stuff that didn't make it through the winter, and they took it all back.
That's so good.
You just have to pay attention to your warranties on stuff.
That's excellent advice. And moving into other layers about things that sellers may be doing or thinking about doing. Mm-hmm. I had the most interesting time with a seller that we're in process. Their home is not on market yet. But I really appreciated going to their home. I spent maybe an hour and a half looking at, they were in mid-renovation, so they had done a lot. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, COVID got to their family, and they all had a lot of things that happened. And so it stopped some of the flow of life, some of the flow of getting projects complete. So I'm walking into a home that right now has half complete projects, but it has such great bones. It has so much potential, and it's so pretty. But, maybe at the beginning of the year, walking through it, it's like, you could do this, you can do that, you can change everything, you can, let's gut the master bathroom, let's completely change it. There's a lot of real estate in that master bath, but let's just pull it out and put everything new. And there was no doubt that you could get way more than your money back.
Yeah.
Because the elasticity of the market would allow these multiple offers and people that really wanted finished products to pay up and to cover these costs, and then to actually profit the seller by doing these things. Now the market is different, and we have price reductions even if sellers are putting the work into a home.
Right. Well, I think one of the keys that changed in the market is getting people in the door. Because our showings are way down right now. And if a seller can pay attention and do the key things that's going to stand out, like you were saying, people might not want to do a lot of the work themselves. But if you can do those things and get the people in your house rather than the other houses, you might not see as many price reductions. But right now, that's really all people are doing is price reductions to get people in the door. Because guess what? They can't just remodel their bathroom once it's on the market.
Exactly. You can't.
So
you
all you're
make
left
that decision
is leverage with the price. And so,
yes.
And
here's what I'm finding. So how do you prioritize things? I've said it before, but I want to say it again. Deferred maintenance is not making an improvement to your home.
Yeah.
It's taking care of deck rot that might ruin a sale and that may ruin an inspection. Take care of the rot. Take care of the deferred maintenance.
The exterior
Replace the roof that's 30 years old that needs to be replaced because the buyer can't get insurance.
Yeah.
Those are called maintenance things. That's not making improvements to sell the home necessarily as much as taking care of the deferred maintenance to open the audience wide to buyers who otherwise their inspection or their insurance may not cover the home.
Yeah, I have a roof right now. It's over 20 years old.
Yeah.
It was the original roof on the house. Gorgeous 5-acre property, house, beautiful, tons of hail damage on the roof. So we're stuck waiting for the insurance company to see if they're going to pay.
Yes.
Well, what people don't realize is, there's on insurance, some insurance policies, after 10 years, they're taken back that you might not get a full roof replacement.
And they've changed their ways now to where if a claim isn't made within 6 months or a year of the hail damage, they don't pay. So I ran into this
you might be stuck without paying for it yourself, basically.
I just had it happen. Just had it happen on a home where there was a lot of hail damage all over this house, not just the roof, but stucco and everything.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it wasn't covered because the hail happened 2 years ago in that neighborhood.
Right.
And so then those people are stuck with like astronomical costs.
And the buyers don't want to take that over. So you're really...
They can't.
Stuck. And like you said, a lot of times they can't even get insurance.
Exactly. So prioritize and do the damage first, the things that could prevent a sale. And then... we're scaling back in some of our little pre-listing renovations where before we would have maybe completely gutted a master bathroom. Now we might change light fixtures. We might change an element like the tile floor, or we may change a few things, paint the cabinets instead of change the vanity completely. Yeah. So there's some things that we're doing to freshen it without having to do a full remodel. There's times now when scaling back makes sense, but still to give it a fresh feel.
Well, and that's the benefit of picking up the phone and texting or calling us.
That's right.
Because we know kind of what to look for and how to steer clients in the right direction.
And
with
where the
ever-changing
line is.
Market.
Yes.
Because, 2 months ago it was different.
Yes, it was. So we want to help with those dynamic changes and help you see those differences between what needs to be renovated just to sell versus what you might hold back doing that's not fully necessary. Yes, those are huge things. And I think we love this part of the business, though.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's cool to be preventative and not slap something up on the market so fast that the seller then is sideswiped later.
Right.
We like to avoid that and take care of some of these things up front so that the surprise factor, it's no fun to get hit with things later if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not avoidable, but if we can prevent it, we want to.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to catch you next time. And until then, keep letting us know what your questions are, what you would like for us to discuss. We want to hear from you, and we do care about you. And in this dynamic market change, one thing still holds true: relationships matter more than ever.
Yes. You
guys who are listening, the three of you who are listening, no, I'm just kidding. You matter to us. We're not doing this for ourselves, but we want to keep you updated. And we thank you so much for joining us in this real estate journey.
Yes.
Thank you.